10:45 a.m. Saturday, Labor Day weekend, 2021. I'm on a hike, at least up to the junction of the Timberline Trail and this access path up the White River. Potentially beyond that up to the junction of the Pacific Crest, and potentially beyond that the entire 5-mile loop. We'll see how that goes. Feeling pretty good this morning. Energy's good. Been sleeping a lot lately. I don't know whether you can see its center frame there, but that smallish white patch of snow to the left of the larger one is normally where they would be skiing, but the melt has pretty much killed that this year. I think they got at least average plus snowfall. So normally in the past, I think they've been able to open skiing up from 9 to 2 up there pretty much through the summer. Clearly not this year. And panning around, we're getting smoke from a fire about 30 miles away to the southwest. Sort of northeast of, or north of Jefferson, I guess. Air quality indicators are not happy, so I'll be interested to see also how my respiratory system deals with this. This is where I'm gonna come back out if I make the whole loop. And this loop, excuse me, it's a little shorter and steeper this way going up to the junction of the Pacific Crest, at which point it's pretty much all downhill. So not quite 2 up, not a little more than 3 down. A little bit of a breeze, temperature in the low 70s. And it's nice to be out. So for anyone curious about this hike, it's pretty much the same amount of energy clockwise or counterclockwise on the loop, 5 miles. Generally takes me a little less than 2 hours with a couple of little stops. So far, not too many people in the parking lot. I wonder if the COVID or the smoke from the fires is the deterrent, because it is Labor Day weekend. You'd think people would be out. And I'm running both a Strava track and an All Trails track. I'll post the All Trails track to that site. Didn't really see anything else on my 5-mile loop, so that might be a new addition. There is a track that runs up the drainage here to the junction of the Timberline. I saw that. So this part of the hike, going up the drainage, it's going to go up along here and over that little notch in the trees up there, where it'll eventually connect up with the Timberline Trail coming down through here. That would be going clockwise on the Timberline, and then it'll go up behind this ridge to connect up with the Pacific Crest, at which point you can turn right to the Timberline Lodge or left to come back down this way on the Pacific Crest, watching eventually for a junction that will take you back down to this White River lot. I think there is some signage there, but I don't know if it's crystal clear about ending up here or not. Anyway, if you follow the track, that should pretty much do it. I think there's enough cell signal to capture everything. Right there where the trees dip down is where the Timberline Trail crosses this drainage. And it goes up to the ridge before continuing on to Newton Creek, going counterclockwise. All right, so I don't know if it shows up in the picture, but there's a cairn right there. There's the dirt road right in front of me. Another cairn here. So follow this dirt road up a little bit. It'll turn back into a trail before too long. Once we cross under this power grid. So this is the power grid, the power lines. It's just over a mile to here, going counterclockwise on the loop. Anyway, a mile from the parking lot up toward the junction of the Timberline Trail. It's trying to clear. All right, so Timberline Trail cuts across the drainage and goes up into this draw, up to that ridge and beyond. For those people going counterclockwise anyway. Well, I'm 1.6 miles up from the parking lot at the junction of the access trail and the Timberline Trail. That would be clockwise on the Timberline and counterclockwise up through that wooded notch there. And Timberline Trail actually is right below me, right down in there. So, I'm gonna head up, zigzag my way up over that ridge there, connect into the Pacific Crest, which is probably center frame up in those trees up there. Oh, and so far feel good. No noticeable impacts from smoke. Keeping the pace, probably 2.25 miles an hour, maybe. Well, coming up to the junction of the Pacific Crest Trail, and it's my first glimpse of the Palmer chairlift that goes up onto the glacial area. Not running now because most of the snow is melted. In fact, pretty much all of it. Just a tiny patch up near the top of the lift, right below that knob. Well, I'm about 30 yards away from the junction of the Pacific Crest Trail and the Timberline. to join up for a while going northbound, past the lodge, up and in the direction of Lola Pass. Then the Timberline branches off and goes around Mount Hood, back to here. And it is approximately 2.2 miles to this point from the parking lot coming up the drainage. So that would be going counterclockwise. It's basically all downhill from here. Well, here's a nice overlook, and center frame right between the sapling and the big trees. Right there is the parking lot of Timberline Lodge. You can maybe barely make out the roof of the lodge, but it's there. And not a creature was stirring, not even a human. Except for this one. Well, at 4.1 miles on the counterclockwise loop, you come to the junction of the Pacific Crest Trail and the access trail to the White River Sno Park, which is apparently 3/4 of a mile from here. Lots of blue blazes on the trees for the snowmobilers, I think. That's what you're gonna see. Coming southbound on the Pacific Crest. And this trail is an access trail, side trail, so it's not as well defined, but it is there. And the trail goes right across that log there. It's kind of marshy in there, although by now it may have all dried out. I've come off of the Splitter Trail onto a four-wheel drive road. Basically, there are two junctions. Just bear right at both of them, and you'll eventually cross a metal bridge and then out to the snow park. This, of course, is going counterclockwise. Well, a little correction. I think the next junction is just beyond that bridge. So, anyway, we're bearing right. Well, here's the junction, the exit junction, I guess. So that's the direction I went up in. And there's the gate. RV is just out of sight right there. All right, the end. So 5.05 miles, 2 hours, 30 minutes. Average speed, 2.03 miles per hour, very leisurely. Nice day.